Succulent, juicy, and tender. One of the most versatile ingredients on your shopping list. This week, we're plucking the truth out of chicken. Could black chicken really be a superfood? Do kampong chickens live in kampongs? Which chicken will be crowned the winner on our ultimate chicken rice taste test? And could we have found a delicious, healthy alternative to the chicken nugget? Join me as we investigate chicken. Welcome to the very first episode of The Food Detectives. Now, this is a series where we investigate what really goes on behind the food that we eat. And today, we look into a versatile, low-fat protein source that's been on the hot seat recently with rumors of growth hormones, antibiotics, and injections. That's right, I'm talking about chicken. There are lots of delicious ways for us to enjoy eating chicken. Chicken rice, roast chicken, chicken soup, fried chicken, chicken noodles, chicken curry. The list is endless. But how much do we really know about chicken? And how does it compare to other meats on the market? Less than a century ago, chickens were served as a delicacy during Chinese New Year to symbolize family unity. But we eat chicken almost every day now. We consume twice as much chicken as compared to pork, 7 times more chicken as compared to beef, and 11 times to duck. Worldwide consumption of poultry has increased over the years. In Singapore alone, we eat more than 200,000 chickens daily.
Poultry meat is probably one of the meats that has the lowest fat content. So therefore, if you eat skinned chicken, you normally end up consuming only about 2 to 5% fat, which is quite low.
Chicken has 75% less fat than beef, even with the skin on. Without the skin, it's a whopping 200% less. So, Auntie, how much is this chicken?
$6.
$6.
$6.
Okay, so the chicken that's most commonly used is the commercial broiler chicken. That's what you're seeing here. But there's also kampong chicken and the black chicken, sakura chicken, and even cordyceps chicken. Plus, you can choose organic, free-range, barn-raised. The list is endless. You name it, you can get it. Confusing, huh? So I need to understand, what is the difference between all this chicken? In the early days of Singapore, we knew exactly where our chickens came from, our own backyard. Today, all our chickens are imported and we get our fresh supply from Malaysia. Now, under AVA regulations, you can only get them from 2 places. That's Johor and Malacca. So I'm taking a fun little field trip across the causeway to investigate. So here I am at the Gersing farm in Johor Bahru, and this is where I've come to understand everything that goes on behind the poultry we love so much. And the man of the hour to show me just that is this guy right here, Kenny.
Hi, how are you?
Very good.
Do you want me to show you around?
Yeah, let's talk chicken.
Yeah, let's do.
Kenny, this is not what I expected to see. Yeah, I thought they would all be stacked up on top of each other, you know, in a wired box or something like that. I'm so surprised.
We want to do something that's more ethical, something that's not inhumane.
So what kind of chickens are these?
These are the normal Malaysian white broilers. Pretty much about 80 to 90% of the fresh chicken that's consumed in Singapore. They're pretty much an average chicken.
And these are the kinds of chickens that grow pretty fast, right?
Yep, they are. For them to reach maturity, I would say probably about 32 to 35 days.
And I've been hearing that over the years, the time it takes for a chicken to fully mature has decreased significantly. Why is that?
When we get the breeders from our suppliers, what they do is that they crossbreed between the normal chicken and some breed that is faster. So on average, probably about a year it gets a day lower and lower. But it has to be a tipping point. Right now, I would probably say that we are at the maximum of what is humanly possible. Other than that, you probably will get a Frankenstein chicken already.
We don't want a Frankenstein
No, we don't.
chicken.
The reason why we can get poultry to grow faster is for 2 reasons. One is that we select the breed that has the rapid growth in them, and secondly, good nutrition. A combination of good feeding and good breeding will give us fast rate of growth.
So what's the secret? I mean, do you use some hormones in there to ensure that they grow bigger, faster, or how?
Not actually, we don't do hormones because we felt that's really against the law of nature. What we do is we give them corn, we give them soil, and we give them vitamins and herbs. It's all natural, it's nothing that's chemical or synthetic.
With the demand for chicken at an all-time high, the rumor mill has gone into overdrive about the use of growth hormones.
Growth hormones are not allowed by law to be used in poultry. However, by and large, if it gets slipped through the system, the growth hormone is normally injected around the neck area. So as a safety precaution, try not to eat the neck of the animal.
I don't think I'm going to find it hard to avoid tucking into the neck. I'm more of a thigh girl myself. But there's another issue. Antibiotics. They are used to increase the efficiency of the meat industry. But is it at the cost of our health?
Antibiotics are used to treat diseases and also to promote growth. However, if they want to use antibiotics in chicken production, they must observe proper withdrawal period, and they must also use approved antibiotics.
We're hearing a lot of talk all the time about the use of antibiotics, and I worry about that. How does that come into play here?
Actually, antibiotics are only given when it's absolutely necessary. And even if we do give them, we have a window period of 21 days before they are brought to Singapore. That window period allows the chicken to pass out all the antibiotics from the system. But as much as possible, we do not want to give anyone to them.
Despite these tight regulations, what are the dangers if we were to consume antibiotic residue?
If you consume antibiotics in food that are not necessarily there to combat an infection, you might build a resistance to the very bacteria you want to kill. But actually, I wouldn't be too worried about the residue of antibiotics in poultry because the antibiotic residue is very, very small and that they are very tightly controlled. And above all, the antibiotics that are used in the poultry are not the commonly used ones for humans. So there is a distinction.
AVA regularly tests for antibiotics and hormones in our chickens. These tests are done in their laboratories to ensure that our chickens are safe for consumption.
My analysts analyze the chicken samples. This is the final results. We tested, let's say, very common antibiotics like penicillins, quinolines, sulfonamides. We didn't find anything inside. Then here is the hormone groups. We didn't detect any growth hormones in this sample, so it is quite safe.
Phew, good to know we're safe. But let's not count our chickens just yet. Are there other hidden dangers that we should be aware of?
All poultry that we buy, whether from North America, from Europe or Singapore, quite a large proportion of the surface of the poultry are laden with bacteria such as Salmonella, Campylobacter, and in some cases E. coli. So as a rule of thumb, always use a red chopping board to chop your poultry, red to remind you of the danger of it having contamination, and using a yellow chopping board once the poultry has been cooked. Do not contaminate your chopping board by using the same board for the raw and the cooked poultry.
Coming up, we investigate the French invasion. And it's time to eat. It's the ultimate chicken showdown. Earlier today, we visited what are known as broiler chickens. They're a very fast-growing breed. It takes about 33 days for them to mature. And now I'm visiting the ever-exotic Gigi French poulet. Originally from Egypt, migrated to France, and now they found their home in the sleepy town of Simpang Renggam in Johor. Come on, friends! Do not be afraid! So Kenny, Gigi French poulet is very fancy, right? Just sounds so different. What makes these chickens different from like the broiler chickens that we saw?
Okay, the chickens that we're having now is actually grown from 80 to 120 days. It's actually a slow-growing bird. The meat is allowed to age naturally and biologically, so it results in a sweeter and a firmer taste.
What is it that you feed them? Does that sort of translate also and help?
Yep, we are what we eat actually. So we give them a bit more corn percentage than the rest of the people do, and we give them selenium, we give them natto as well.
Selenium and natto. What are they and why is it important? Why do you use it?
Actually, natto is the same thing that we have on sushi. It's actually fed to Wagyu. The result of it is that you get a sweeter taste, and when you give them more corn, it actually complements the sweet taste.
Tell me about how different it is in terms of farming these chickens.
The chickens are actually a bit more sparsely populated, and we give them a bit more space, and we want them to have space to run around, for them to have interaction.
And that makes a difference, them being more free?
Correct. Happy chickens mean happy meat. When the chicken are nervous, it actually releases a certain kind of enzyme. It actually firms up the meat itself. So what we're trying to do is try to keep them happy, try to keep them relaxed, so that it doesn't release this kind of enzyme. It actually firms up the meat.
The difference between slow-growing and fast-growing chicken will be the fat content. If you grow fast, ironically you'll have more fat. So the kampong chicken is growing slowly, but it's got much more taste, much more texture, much more meat, and less fat.
Is this what you would classify as kampong chicken?
Yes, in Singapore, usually these are classified as kampong chicken.
How so? Because to me, when I think kampong chicken, that means free, you're roaming around to go wherever you wish. What's the difference?
Because of AVA regulations, we are not able to have free-range chilled chicken, or it might cost too much to be commercially viable. So what we actually do is we try to keep it as free-range as possible. We let them run around. We don't keep them in cages. So try to rear them as naturally as possible.
And you have to keep them under a roof, right?
Right. We have to enclose the entire place up so that make sure that the avian flu doesn't come to them.
The avian influenza, also known as bird flu, caught widespread media attention over a decade ago after its first deadly outbreak.
Bird flu is transmitted to humans by close contact with infected birds when we touch the nasal secretions, saliva of birds, bird droppings. The key point is that after handling the birds, one should wash our hands before preparing or eating food.
As part of our food safety system, we inspect and accredit exporting countries, including their farms. We are very concerned about bird flu. We want to make sure that those farms are not located in the bird flu zone. Other than that, we also monitor the farm in terms of biosecurity, sanitation standards, and the processing and the farming.
So we now know that chickens in Singapore are safe to consume. But what if I want it to be even healthier? Maybe go organic or even free range. Are those options available to me?
Our primary focus is to ensure that the poultry is safe to eat, whether they are organic or they are produced in the conventional way. If a company claims that the chicken is organic, then they must show proof that it's organically produced. They must show to AVA evidence of organic certification, and AVA will do the verification check to ensure that this is so.
But is organic chicken healthier?
Two major surveys around the world have shown that nutritionally there is no difference between organic and non-organic chickens. But there is some suggestion that organic chicken may taste slightly better.
But that's not all. There are many other designer chickens vying for our attention.
The different chickens, such as the designer chickens, kampung chickens, or the commercial chickens, nutritionally they are the same. What would differ is people's perception of its quality of meat. For certain designer chickens, they claim to add lactobacillus or cordyceps to the chicken, and they claim that we actually absorb it. Whether or not the content of it is high, we're not too sure, and I believe that the effect is very low or negligible. However, we're still eating a very good piece of chicken that's supplying us with good nutrients.
I've always been fascinated by what we know as black chicken. Its official name is actually silky and it has white feathers. Now, for several centuries, the Chinese have waxed lyrical about the benefits of this marvelous chicken. It usually comes in a soup that helps to boost the immune system. Now, the Chinese may have known about the secrets of this black chicken, but now, finally, science is catching up. That is bitter, but good.
black chicken has got a very unusual protein called carnosine. That's an antioxidant. Carnosine is found in small amounts in other animal sources as well, but the black chicken has about 10 times more carnosine than other sources of animal protein. Secondly, black chicken is made into a chicken soup that contains certain amino acids that increase the immune response.
So we've heard a lot about the different types of breeds of chicken, and today we're going to make a very popular Singaporean dish using 3 types of chicken. This is Chef Ivan. Thanks for hanging out with us today. So we have 3 different types of chicken here. This one is the commercial boiler chicken. Okay. We also have the Sakura chicken here and the Kampong chicken. And we're going to see whether, if we make the same dish, can we taste the difference in flavors? Do the chickens really have a different taste? We're going to find that out today.
Yep.
Right?
Using the same recipe, which includes classic ingredients such as pandan leaves, coriander and garlic, Chef Ivan is going to cook the chickens for 45 minutes each.
Okay, chow time. Let's do this.
The chickens are finally done. Good things come to those who wait.
It's taste test time, chicken rice style, and I'm here with 4 friends from Tot Store. So we have prepared the chicken rice for them, 3 different types. They don't know which one is which. All right, so we'll start with platter A.
I feel the skin and the meat very soft.
It's very tasty and the meat is so soft and tender.
It's tender and much more lean.
I actually like this one better because it's a bit more moist. That's a bit more rubberish.
So thank you all so much for being a part of our taste test. So it seems, as of now, A is the winner. It's the most popular commercial boiler chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, the tribe has spoken.
Coming up, nuggets, golden bites of heavenly goodness, or a naughty little treat. We test them on the most discerning judges.
When you think chicken, you can't escape the fast food chicken that we've come to love and know so well. But you see, this piece right here is 290 calories. That's 21 grams of fat. And that translates to about a block of butter this size. Now, fried chicken is not your everyday food. You should consume it moderately, but it is a good source of protein. But there's another form of fried chicken that so many kids adore. Chicken nuggets. They're convenient, they're easy to cook, and they're satisfying. But what's really in a chicken nugget? The next time you go grocery shopping, don't be swayed by the labels that read made from real chicken. Because sure, there'll be some real chicken in there, but guess what? It also shares some space with a lot of other ingredients.
There are many food additives found in our food nowadays. For example, in chicken nuggets, you can see food additives, the so-called E series, such as E450, E431. They include sodium triphosphates. These are approved food additives, and the purpose is to stabilize the food, preserve the food longer so that they appear fresher.
A healthy, homemade, and fresh version to a dish that so many kids have come to love is absolutely possible without taking too much of your time. And that's where Jacqueline, our dietitian, comes into play with her own homemade recipe. Because we all know that with kids, it takes them a little bit of time to get used to new flavors. So hopefully, the sooner you introduce healthier options into their diet, the more accustomed they'll be to the taste of homemade goodness. So this is your own recipe?
Yes, it is.
What makes it healthier?
Well, what we're using is chicken breast fillets, which is very low in fat, and we're using very light seasonings, including some Parmesan cheese. So you're going to get a product that's very high in protein, a little bit of calcium, high in iron, and it's great for the kids. We start off first by putting in just 2 teaspoons of the olive oil to the chicken, give them a good mix up. So now we're just going to prepare the dry ingredients. 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, 2 tablespoons of panko breadcrumbs, followed by 6 tablespoons of the seasoned breadcrumbs.
Okay. Why are you using 2 different types of breadcrumbs?
I think it's a bit more for texture. Kids love texture, so we try our best to make the foods more appealing to them. Then now we just add a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. Give it a good mix together.
This seems so easy.
It is very simple to make.
Wow, okay.
Grab each chicken fillet, roll it, dust it.
That's it.
That's it. So we're just going to give a light spray, just to give some browning effect.
All right, and it goes into the oven.
So that's on 220 degrees Celsius, and it's going to take about 8 minutes on one side and then 4 minutes on the other.
Hey, that's actually very close to chicken nuggets, I have to say. Very tasty, just the right amount of crunch, but it's still nice and succulent inside.
Not only are they delicious, the average cost per portion is $3.20. Now, to the experts. I'm about to meet some cute little 5-year-olds, and what do most kids love? A plate of chicken nuggets. So we're going to do a fun little experiment. We have 3 batches of nuggets. 1 is homemade, fresh, and guaranteed to be all chicken. The other 2 are frozen, store-bought, and not necessarily 100% chicken.
Here we go. I hope you're hungry. Take 1 piece.
At this age, kids' taste buds are cultivated by what they eat at home, what they're used to, and the examples set by their parents. So it will be interesting to see what kind of chicken nuggets they prefer.
1 last plate, okay? Are you ready? Okay, so you have to tell me which one is the yummiest. There's no wrong answer.
C. I like B.
A?
B. C.
A, B, or C?
B.
The results are in. The oven-baked nuggets were the most popular. Whilst our test results are not entirely surprising, parents, do always remember to moderate your child's intake of processed and fried food.
Making small changes by introducing healthier options into their diet could make a big difference. Chicken is our most common source of protein, and much like humans, they are what they eat. That's what differentiates good chicken from great chicken. Now, we've studied all sorts of breeds of chicken. We've looked into the fiction, we've also looked into the facts. So the next time you're craving chicken, you've got what it takes to make the right decision.